She considers my comic book collection an aphrodisiac.
Well, Evan, you best marry that one.
Okay, one of two things is going to happen. This girl will last forever. Oh, now we're live.
I missed the second one. What was that?
Oh, nope.
Now, Evan...
It's done. You don't get the end. You get just the end.
Well, he's used to that.
It's not my fault I'm part black and part Irish. It doesn't fit in every girl.
Oh, I'm not worried about it fitting in them. I'm more worried about them. I'm more worried about it fitting in you.
Relax, she was gentle. Actually, no, not really, no.
Well, I think we need to start this episode with the right sentiment. I need an adult! I need an adult!
Actually, it's more like the safety word is banana. But anyway, hi, welcome to High Class Geek News, where we decide to completely forego anything important so we can talk instead about the news you actually give a shit about. I am, of course, your usual host, your friendly neighborhood geekazoid, Evan Ransom. With me today is the angry monkey himself, that is John Little.
Hi, everybody!
You must be 18 or older to ride the handlebars. And, of course, back again is the mischievous rabbit, known for killing Monty Python members and their friends.
Every day, all day, always chopping that head off.
Look at the bones! Look at the bones!
Fuck. I always forget to bring a holy hand grenade. Or is it because
I have one.
I can't remember which.
You don't have one. They're both the grand.
But I made them.
He likes to think his testicles are holy hand grenades.
No, I actually made two.
Yeah, he has two. Museum quality.
Anyway, tonight's episode is titled Not the World's Greatest Comic Movie. Who wants to guess what our main story is about?
Ooh,
I'll take the Fantastic Four for 500, Alex.
Ah,
yeah,
damn.
Wow. You know, last time I made a movie, especially a Marvel movie, the main story, it was because, let's be honest, I know lots of people who were like surprised that Ant-Man did as well as it did. 2 weeks at #1.
Yep.
This time it's the exact opposite. Boy, is it bombing.
You know your movie's bad when Joel Schumacher's Abortion has a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than you do. The movie that he had to do a 3-minute apology on the Criterion Collection to make up for.
It was up there. Yeah, I have it. Oh God, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen it yet, so this is speculation here. I am going to watch eventually Wednesday under conditions where it won't get my money.
I was gonna say
yes, it's actually legal.
I was gonna say you are. If you're not going to Mission Valley, you are so waiting till it goes to Blue Ridge.
Yeah, and just based on what I saw of the trailers and what little I got from the reviews so far, I think Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin material than this one does with it, which is, oh God, it's bad, so bad. Anyway, it's like once we knew it was really bad when they just the fact they put an embargo on the reviews to begin with, but then they lifted them and all the reviews said the same thing. Nothing happens until the very end of the movie, and then it stops.
And the entire time you're wondering where the Thing's penis is.
It's in a fold.
Hey, I'm wondering where his pants are. This is why the Thing wears pants in the comics when people aren't asking that question. Probably for so long the Beast costume.
Maybe when he's in like full rock form, he actually has a cloaca. That's probably what's going on.
Well, that would make him reptilian, not mammalian, and it's not that far of a change of his DNA. Maybe there's a flap. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Here's the thing. Even if you completely get rid of the genitalia argument, and I had the same problem with the 90s Beast costume, Beast and the Thing are the kinds of characters you don't take clothes away from, you add clothes to. Because a big part of their character dynamic is trying to retain their humanity.
Precisely.
That usually doesn't translate to, I want to wear nothing but a G-string.
Though technically with the Beast argument, I could understand some of it, but you'd have to put in some testicles. They'd have to be there.
Well, the idea behind the Beast was always, well, he's already covered in fur, what more does he need? Which, once again, aesthetically speaking, you're right. In terms of the character you're talking about, it makes more sense for him to go into a fight in a tux if he can get away with it than it does for him to be wearing a Speedo.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with the Thing. That's why I was happy when they started putting boots and pants on the Thing, because that makes a lot more sense for the character.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the giant blue underwear he wore for the longest fucking time.
Stretch pants. They were stretch pants.
They were unstable molecules. But yeah.
They were capris. Let's call them what they were. We should have called him goddamn Huckleberry because he was wearing capris.
The important thing is they weren't purple.
True. Point.
So yeah, bad reviews, $11 million only on its opening day. So far, it's at an estimated $26 million for the weekend. To give you an idea for anybody who hears those numbers and thinks, well, that's more than I make in a year, they should be happy. To make a comic book movie, especially from a big studio, we're talking 6 digits easy. 5 digits is not a good way to come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Precisely. You know, if it's a comic book movie and it's not literally clearing the $100 million mark on opening weekend, you can consider it a bust.
Yeah, it's gone. It's dead.
And on top of that, there's a metric fuckload 20th Century has put a lot of plans into. They already set a date for a sequel. Bryan Singer says he wants to do a crossover with it with an X-Men.
No.
I will be so glad when Marvel gets the rights to those properties back. And then, granted, you know, once they do, we will not see another Fantastic Four movie probably in our lifetime in order to let the stigma of the last 3 fade away.
No, it's Marvel.
And I'm okay
They'll
with it.
go. If I can tell you right now, there's at least a group of major power players at Marvel Studios right now. They stroke their dicks hard on a daily basis with the idea that they will get Fantastic Four back. They are waiting for it. They already have a plan, an outline, probably even casting ideas ready to fucking go right now. Look how quickly they put a Spider movie together after they got the rights back.
Point. I'll go with that. Moving on.
Coming out in movie theaters this week as we move on to just, well, films as our topic. Sleeping with Other People and Something to Not See, The Visit, which was written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Which means I'm not going to see it.
Which means that as a film goer, you're depressed, but as a comedian, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan is the herpes of the entertainment world.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, you were saying?
No, yeah, I got a retort. So his movies lackluster a lot. He's had some good ones. He's had a few stinkers. Have you seen Wayward Pines yet? Because that's M. Night Shyamalan, and it's a television show. And holy crap, it's really good. I'm sucked in. I'm waiting for season 2. If it ever comes.
He's producing the show, not writing or directing it, and it's based off of a book that he had nothing to do with.
He's directing it.
I'll have to look that up.
Mm-hmm.
Still doesn't limit the fact that he's not writing it, and it's based off of something else. And it still doesn't make up for The Last Airbender.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. There's not much short of seppuku that'll make up for that.
Yeah. Oof, it's even worse than Batman and Robin. On the home video market, Unfriended, that horror movie by a bunch of guys who are in middle age trying to prove that they understand how modern technology and young people work. Spoiler, they don't.
No.
Boys on the Side, Hot Pursuit, The Serpent and the Rainbow. Looks like a new release for the movie Dead Silence and Spring.
Okay, Rabbit, I've looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked it up. M. Night Shyamalan directed one episode.
Ah, damn.
The pilot, right?
I don't even think it was the pilot.
It
says one episode. He's not a creator. He's not a writer. He directed one episode.
Sure, it's only one episode.
Is he a producer?
He's not listed as producer credit. He is one director out of several.
So, in other words, he's got almost nothing creatively to do with the show. But since directors on TV shows don't really have time to do any pre-planning.
Yeah, it's created by a guy named Chris Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt. Moving on. So, yeah. No, that was a good interruption. It brought it back. We only got, strangely enough, we got 2 trailers out this week. And this is interesting. One is the official theatrical trailer for Deadpool.
Yay!
And it's actually the only thing
too far off with the show at Comic-Con.
I was going to say, the only thing that made me happier than the Deadpool trailer was the teaser for the Deadpool trailer that came out the day before.
The second trailer that came out this week. We got a trailer for the trailer.
My favorite part about that
I'm telling you, all they can do is just take all the marketing material for Daredevil, put it on the screen, call it the Daredevil. All the marketing material for Deadpool, put it on a movie screen, and call it the Deadpool movie, and I would be okay with this.
From the studio that inexplicably sewed his mouth shut the first time.
You have to love all the little pokes at the X-Men film.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those people who's actually a little upset that, not that it's R-rated, but that because there's no censorship, we're not getting all the good censorship jokes from the comic, but I don't care. This is too good.
I'm actually hoping, I know we're probably not going to, but I'm kind of hoping we get some of the interior monologues, where he's speaking with the other 2 voices in his head.
I'm just happy with the fact that he's going to be aware that he's in a movie and be talking to us.
That's very true. And if he's not breaking the 4th wall, it's not a Deadpool film.
Nope. Now, I'm not going to lie. On a slow week, I have 2 pages worth of the news we'll be covering. Longer weeks, 3 pages. I'm at 3.5. We're about ready to get to most of what page 1 is right now. We have release dates. Oh God, do we have release dates? Thank you, Sony.
Question?
Yes, John.
Are any of them any good? We can have release dates all we like, but that doesn't mean anything good is coming out.
In some cases, you are correct. In at least one case, you are not correct. Which is what we're going to start off with. December 15th, 2017 is the official release date for the Steven Spielberg-directed Ready Player One.
Yay!
Please do not fuck it up. Please.
Actually, Steven Spielberg is the pretty much the only choice of the author of the book to do a movie, and the only one he thought could actually get away with it.
Just like take point of order on this. AI and War of the Worlds. Just
okay. AI is a Stanley Kubrick movie that Steven Spielberg directed based on Stanley Kubrick's notes.
And that's why it didn't work.
That's because it should have been a Stanley
and it
Kubrick.
was also Stanley Kubrick's idea.
Which is why he shouldn't have done it.
Well, again, if anybody has the clout to get together all the licensing he's going to need, it's Spielberg.
Also, wasn't War of the Worlds like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
That doesn't make it any better.
No, no,
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying it's like 10 years ago. He's done other movies since then. Pretty much all have been good. And as many movies as he's done, when you can only name 2 flops, if you could even call them that, they were financially successful.
yeah, they were just
Regardless, it's perfectly normal to have a little trepidation based on those. They were, War of the Worlds alone should have been, is an ample property to do well with, and it wasn't done well. So all we can hope is that he does it right, and if he doesn't, we're going to have to arrange a lynch mob the likes of George Lucas could only hope for.
Yeah, why haven't we
Moving
lynched
on.
George Lucas yet? Because I
Because
have
he
my
sold
rope.
Star Wars to Disney, thereby saving it from himself.
True. We should
Because
still
the
whip
state of
him publicly.
execution.
All right, but then public whipping.
Oh,
He
yeah,
needs
that's
to
all.
be punished.
As for the other release dates, we have an actual release date for the Dark Tower movie.
No, I'm interested.
January 13, 2017. Bad Boys 3 will be out February 17th, 2017.
Ugh.
Bad Boys 4 will be out July 3rd, 2019.
Wow, Martin
Wow.
Lawrence really needs some work.
Oh man.
Ghostbusters, July 15th, 2016.
Yay!
Patient
And it wasn't
Zero, which I assume is a zombie movie, September 2nd, 2016. I'm not listing everything Sony has said, just the ones that I think will be interesting to us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait to see the looks on the faces when I say this one. The Magnificent Seven, September 9th, 2016.
No, Magnificent Seven. I
Magnificent
didn't know they were remaking that.
See, the fifth Underworld movie, which currently does not seem to have a title, October 21st, 2016.
That jumped the shark a while ago.
Technically, I'd say that jumped the shark with movie 1, but still. The remake of Jumanji will be out Christmas Day, 2016.
Hang on, remake
No.
or remaster?
Remake.
Fuck you, no.
No. Mm-mm.
Not seeing it.
When you start remaking Robin Williams films, that's when you know you fucked up.
The sixth and possibly final Resident Evil movie, January 27th, 2017.
Can those just go away?
Yeah, or restart with a better director.
That too.
And finally, I think this is the first time anybody said this is officially happening. On June 30th, 2017, Uncharted.
Sweet.
Hang on. Who are they having to play as the lead?
So far, we just have a release date.
Because
They have not
the lead character in that
Fillion yet.
is Nathan
And if they announce
Drake,
anyone
right?
other than Nathan Fillion, fuck them. I will not watch
Actually,
it.
Yeah.
wait. Whoa,
Yeah, that
whoa,
really
whoa,
needs to be
whoa,
Nathan Fillion.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right, who
Now-
do you got?
I think Chris Pratt would do well as Drake.
Oh, he's too comedic though, man.
He could pull it off.
Drake.
Pull it off,
No,
yeah, but it wouldn't be nearly as good as Nathan Fillion.
Here's the thing, John.
Yeah, well, no. He wouldn't be good as Nathan Fillion 10 years ago.
John, here's the thing. I'm not saying other actors can't do it, can't pull it off, can't play the part. But Nathan Fillion looks the part, acts the part, and has already come out and said he wants the part. There should be no number 2. We got our fucking Nathan Drake. Done.
Point of order. Freddie Prinze Jr. looks the part of Peter Parker, said he wanted the part, auditioned for the part, was told by the director that he wouldn't be allowed to see the
He
movie.
doesn't look the part of Peter Parker at all.
Yeah, vintage Peter Parker, yes he does. All I gotta do is change his hair.
No.
Just
he
because somebody
doesn't.
says they want the
All
part
too fit.
doesn't mean... Moving on, we can argue this for hours.
In casting news, it looks like the new Ghostbusters will have Bill Murray in it, though who he's playing and in what capacity we do not know.
Chances are it's going to be a cameo appearance because this is an entire reboot of the series. It's not a
Okay.
sequel.
I know the
I
perfect
don't
role
know.
for him. I know the perfect role for him.
Peter
He
Venkman?
has to be Dick. No, he has to be dickless.
Oh!
He has to be
But that requires us to believe he has no dick. I'm not sure I can believe that of Bill Murray.
No, the acting's
Again.
so good.
Tell me a better role. Tell me. Mayor of New York? Not going to buy it. But
Louis
Walter
Tully?
Peck, I'll buy. Huh?
Louis
Tully? No. No, he's not. He's
it'd be
not
hilarious.
wormy enough.
He can play Zool with the same costume.
Oh, God.
I hope he doesn't take up too much screen time because I like that it's an all-female cast. That's so cool of a change. I hope he's just in there enough to make you appreciate it, but allow you to forget it so you can continue on with the movie.
Which is why Walter Peck would be perfect.
I don't know. He talks too much there.
Whew, moving on. Colin Farrell has been cast as one of the main characters in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Harry Potter spinoff, where he basically just plays a wizard who runs into Eddie Redmayne at some point. Captain America Civil War, apparently there are reports of Mark Ruffalo visiting the set in Berlin. Whether or not this means maybe having a bit in there as Bruce Banner, we don't know, but God, wouldn't it be great, since they can't do the Civil War story exactly the same way they do in the comics, that it turns out that the disaster that starts the Superhero Registration Act is them trying to capture the Hulk, and the Hulk getting away and destroying things when in the process.
Ooh.
They did kind of semi-set that up with the last Avengers movie. Hulk's on the loose.
Yeah.
Oh God, that would go really well with actual Avengers comics continuity, because in the third issue, that's what it was about. Hulk left in the second issue. The third issue was them trying to get him back. Ooh, God.
That'd work for me.
Yeah. I'm okay with all of this.
Yeah. And finally, in casting news, if you want Robert Downey Jr. to star in your movie, you may need a whole other movie's budget, because it turns out for the third year in a row, he is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Yay!
What made me happy was when I found out who's number 2.
Oh, who's number 2?
No, not Hollywood, in the world. Yeah, but yeah, who's number 2? Number 2 surprised me, but it's someone who deserves to be at least number 2. Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I can buy
I'm
it.
okay with this.
Yeah. Though what really surprised me is that there's a $30 million difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie Chan is getting up there in years.
No, I mean I mean everybody below Jackie Chan, like between like 3 or 4 or whatever, no more than like a few million, maybe 10 million somewhere in there. $30 million difference between 1 and 2. It's Robert Downey Jr. is being paid ridiculous monies. I'd complain, but he's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he's doing too damn good of a job to have anyone complain.
Pretty much. He's in his stride.
I'm going to consider it Oscar-worthy.
Which one?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I really wish
he had it? It's going to be one of the greatest stunts ever filmed.
Is it bad that I really wish that Robert Downey Jr. had some kind of Jedi cameo in the new Star Wars film, just to have him in there?
That's
I want him. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll play Han Solo's dad in the Han Solo movie. It would explain so much.
No, I think we need to Keith Richards again.
In production news, for those of you who are anxious for a remake or reboot of the Crow series, looks like you're going to have to wait a bit longer. Relativity Media, who holds the film rights, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
I would like to announce my new Kickstarter campaign to get enough money to buy the rights.
I would like to announce my new Kickstarter campaign to punch a rabbit in the dick.
I wonder why that is a series that needs to be rebooted, because the comic book itself is kind of an anthology series, and I never understood why they didn't just do it anthology-wise in the first place anyway.
You said The Crow, correct?
Yeah,
The Crow.
Yeah.
Like, don't keep trying to come up with excuses to put someone else in Eric Draven's makeup and then basically tell the exact same story but with the characters' names changed. Come up with new stories involving people who've had a traumatizing death that the Crow feels they need to bring back. They get creative with that shit in the comics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't in the movie. They just keep trying to tell the Crow one over and over and over again.
Well, I think with the fourth one, when he died died in the electric chair, it was a little different. That one was a little better, but it was a horrible movie nonetheless.
True.
Moving on.
You can actually go to the comic. One guy who was killed by a bunch of, I think, Confederate soldiers on the move, or Union soldiers during the Civil War, who comes back to take out their reincarnations.
Yeah.
I heard Wild Justice that, but I heard that was one of the most wildly creative Crow stories he got, and I would really love to see them do that. There are stories you can do there. I'm just saying. Challenge those people. Anyway, moving on. Looks like the new Gundam animated movie, something Orphans. Sadly, I forget the title at the moment because it is an awesome title. Which is why saying this depresses me. It will be co-directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Hang on, what movie is this? Because you were cracking
Michael
up.
Bay. The
Gundam.
new Mobile Suit Gundam anime movie.
This is not entirely bad. I mean, okay, I know we all kind of hate Michael Bay every once in a while, but he is pretty fucking awesome at filming action sequences. He's really fucking good at that. You got to give him credit where credit is due.
I would agree with you if I could actually tell the Autobots apart from the Decepticons in any of the Transformers movies.
Tell the difference between them?
Yes.
Oh, that's a stylistic choice between...
Regardless, it's a co-direction, so let's take it with a grain of salt and hope that he's just in charge of the giant space battles, and that's it.
Yeah, which would be fantastic.
The sad thing is, he had a point in the interview when he pointed out how he had some trepidation in doing this until he realized that the movies he directs tend to be so full of special effects they're practically animated films anyway. Sadly, I cannot disagree.
Pretty much. Moving on.
In other news, it is official we are getting a Dungeons & Dragons movie. Warner Brothers has officially announced they're releasing it, saying they already have a script which was written by David Leslie Johnson. I would say it can't be any worse than the Abomination they released 20 years ago, but Hollywood has a tendency to prove me wrong whenever I make a statement like that, so grain of salt yet again.
I don't know. For intrigue and stuff, I mean, kind of medieval, not to mention all the fantasy stuff that we've been seeing with the comic book movies, it might actually turn out quite good.
I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it will. I am saying never underestimate the film industry's ability to go below your lowest standards.
Yes. Like
Marlon Wayans.
That's
all I'm going to say. It's Marlon Wayans.
The thing that's depressing about Marlon Wayans is he's actually an excellent dramatic actor. He just only got to show that chop once.
True.
Moving on. It looks like we are getting another Mortal Kombat movie. Though people think that it will be directed by James Wan, what we do know for sure is that it will be produced by James Wan. With a script by writers Dave Callahan and Oren Uziel.
Why are we getting another Mortal Kombat film? Why?
Because people like the web series.
Oh, God.
The guy who writes the web series is one of the writers for the movie. No, actually, I can tell you why we should have another Mortal Kombat film in one simple sentence. Because so far we haven't had an R-rated Mortal Kombat film. And that is a sin that should be fixed.
Well, you could say the same thing about a Spawn film. It doesn't mean we need another one.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can't say the same thing about a Spawn film. Technically, one, there is an R-rated Spawn film. It was only released on home video. And two, combat.
What was the second one? You broke up.
I said it's Spawn, not Mortal Kombat. Spawn doesn't deserve as good as Mortal Kombat deserves.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, in news, Star Wars stuff.
Yeah!
Dun, da, 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 da.
We have on October 13th a 9-disc box set referred to as Star Wars: The Complete Saga will be released with all the shit that we've already seen on specifically for these releases, as well as 3 more discs that will also have, as they put features, whether or not I'm guessing that's like the Ewoks movie. Just cross our fingers, I promise we get this at some point. The unfucked with versions of the original trilogy, we will see.
Han shot first.
Damn straight. If you are somebody who doesn't want to buy an all-in-one box set, or more specifically doesn't like the idea of spending more money on the prequel trilogy, well, good news, because all 6 of the movies will be released individually on November 10th in special limited edition Blu-ray steel jackets. Each one having a different character on the front. Phantom Menace will have Darth Maul, because he's not in any other ones. Yoda will be on the cover of Attack of the Clones. You got Darth Grievous on the cover of Revenge of the Sith. A New Hope has Darth Vader. You got just a random Stormtrooper, an Imperial Stormtrooper's face on the cover for Empire Strikes Back. Best movie, worst character choice for the cover. And finally, you will have Emperor Palpatine on the cover for Return of the Jedi. Just in time for the new release of the movie, who, in our final bit of news about Star Wars, J.J. Abrams himself has confirmed there is no mention or acknowledgement whatsoever of midichlorians.
Thank you.
It's the little victories. Yes! Fuck midichlorians. Fuck them.
Don't fuck them. When you fuck them, you get a bad child actor playing the kid version of the best villain ever.
Who was eventually arrested for drunken driving and led the police on at least, what was it, an hour high-speed chase.
Was it
that's
an hour?
pod racing.
Moving on to television. Man, I got a couple of good home video releases here. For those of you, because we like to acknowledge things that are good for television, not just like things that are like for us geeks, like the Tron Uprising or something like that. No. We acknowledge television. That makes television here, which is why I'm proud to announce that this week you can get Season 8 of The Jeffersons on DVD and Blu-ray.
Moving on up.
As well as Season 2 of Maude. If you don't know what that is.
And there's Maude.
Also, the
Why am I the only one who knows that?
series is being released, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Yay.
It's off of one of the all-time favorite. As well as a complete series of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue and Power Rangers Megaforce Season 2, Volume 5, The Legendary Battle Extended Movie Edition. Because apparently we can't put enough words behind the simple 2 words of Power Rangers.
Well, you got to keep milking that cow.
No kidding. We got 2 first looks. First one was the official promo image for the 2nd season of Gotham, showing the city and the cast roughly in the shape of the bat symbol, putting a lot of focus on the villains with Gord in the center. Also, as we mentioned earlier, there was the Deadpool trailer was released. This was officially shown to the world via an episode of Conan O'Brien. So in preparation for that, we got a couple of production photos that were made of Conan O'Brien and Deadpool, and apparently they have a rather close relationship. According to Conan O'Brien, Deadpool is a surprisingly gentle lover. In casting news, guess who's joining Game of Thrones this season as the Three-Eyed Raven?
Who?
Who?
Max von Sydow.
Ooh, Max von Sydow. Nice.
Yeah. And I think it's starting to get to the point where I'm almost like Game of Thrones is almost starting to be bigger than Max von Sydow. This is also the mother of Channing Tatum's child, as well as the woman who is unwittingly hated by lots of younger women everywhere. Jenna Dewan Tatum will be playing Lucy Lane in Supergirl.
Cool.
Yeah, she's an okay actress. Also, for what I can only refer to as DC TV, basically these are the CW shows, The Flash, DC's Heroes of Tomorrow, and Arrow, because they're just all connected. Technically, Supergirl's connected too, but it's not on CW. We have a Hawkman. Falk Henschel has been, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has been cast as Carter Hall Hawkman, as well as, and this is good, and I'm just happy with this casting, Keenan Lonsdale as Wally West.
Well, huzzah!
Mm-hmm.
That should be interesting.
What got me happy was, for a very long time I've been saying if anyone should play Vandal Savage, it's Star Trek The Next Generation's Jonathan Frakes. To me, he always looked the part, he always acted the part, had a great voice, I could believe it. Even him getting old now, I just feel like, it just makes him look more refined.
I always saw him as Jason Wynn, but I can see it.
Yeah, but then they announced earlier this week that they have cast Vandal Savage for the DC TV shows. I saw one picture of this guy and was like, no, you're right, he's Vandal Savage. And that man's name is Casper Crump. If you have seen his picture, he's fucking Vandal Savage. These aren't production photos or him in costume. It's just pictures of him in a suit at some doing publicity for something, and he already looks like Vandal fucking Savage, like ripped from the comic.
Nice.
I'm good. I am good. Other than that, all I can say is that if this Xena reboot is happening, apparently Lucy Lawless is not involved, according to Lucy Lawless.
Mm.
I'm just glad he's involved in Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Speaking of people not being involved in things they're famous for, as we move on to Just Plain Series news, we'll have a spin-off of 24, which will not feature at all or have anything to do with Jack Bauer.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's a spin-off. Because Kiefer Sutherland, I'm guessing, has moved on to other things. Maybe they want to do a sequel to Dark City, and he's saying, I miss playing a character like that.
I don't care what anybody says, I still love that film.
That film is amazing. Have you looked up the SF Debris review of that film?
Oh, yeah.
Do it. You'll be glad you did. It's a thing of beauty. If they ever reissue the movie again on DVD or Blu-ray, they should put it up as a special feature.
Worth it.
Yeah, it's like the best explanation we've ever seen. Speaking of high-concept sci-fi, Netflix has renewed Sense8 for a second season. Which makes me happy.
That one's still on my agenda.
Huh?
I've not watched it yet. That one's still on my agenda. I've not watched it yet.
Did you say Sense8 Season 2?
Yep.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it too, Rabbit?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's a great show. I am thoroughly impressed with it.
Well, it's I'm happy because J. Michael Straczynski, who co-created with the Wachowski, said we have a 5-year plan. And if Babylon 5 has taught me anything, it's that I can trust J. Michael Straczynski with a 5-year plan.
I trust the Wachowskis to make a good show. Wachowskis.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgiving them for that, mostly because, man, you just get into these characters.
I know.
And I have to ask, Rabbit, I'm wondering if you're like me. Is your favorite character on the show the Mexican soap opera star?
Yes!
Boyfriend?
Oh my god!
That dude is awesome.
He is.
I'm like, can we stop doing this sci-fi stuff? Just give him his own show.
I know. That guy is is just an amazing actor. It's just
spoilers! Spoilers! Spoilers!
We haven't spoiled anything.
No, we haven't spoiled anything yet. Oh my god. Whoever cast that guy deserves the casting of the year award. The dude's perfect. Just everything from his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the way he carries himself. Just holy Christ, he gets sucked into his performance.
The best way I can think of to describe this character to you, John, is if you were a gay Mexican with a famous Mexican actor boyfriend, you would be this guy. There are so many scenes where just Mexican actor is freaking out because he's seeing how his life's getting more complicated. All he's doing is just sitting back and saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch the train wreck."
Yeah. Oh God.
Okay.
Ooh, speaking of train wrecks, Fox has confirmed that they are still in negotiations with Marvel Studios to create a potential live-action X-Men series, and they say they are closer to making this happen than ever. I don't see how you can do an X-Men series without blowing your entire season's budget in the first 5 minutes of the pilot, but yeah, good for them. Speaking of blowing things, Frank Darabont has refiled his lawsuit against AMC for The Walking Dead, basically saying you owe us some fucking money and you fired me for no good reason. Also, he's claiming that Fear the Walking Dead is derivative of the original series, and therefore he deserves monetary reparations, as that would technically make him a co-creator of the series. Good luck with that. Moving on to video games. Coming out this week, Brave Tank Hero, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, or as John and I like to call it, Nobody's Watching the Lexus Dealership, Garfield Kart, Goat Simulator for the PS3 and the PS4, Ollie 2, Welcome to Ollie World, Paddington Adventures in London, Toy Soldiers War Chest, and Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. This week, we got a trailer for the game For Honor, titled Visions, as well as a trailer for the Attack on Titans game, which will be coming out sometime in 2016.
Oh, that looks badass already.
Sorry. Just, that anime feels like it was... The only downside I can think of to that game is if they're sticking to the story, then that means you got to play it for an hour or two before you finally get your 3D gear.
More than likely.
Ooh.
It's going to be an entire hour of escort missions before you get your 3D gear.
Or an entire hour of don't let the giant eat you. Meanwhile, in gaming news, we know that the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War will apparently have the entirety of the Gears collection for free attached to it. Kudos there. Also, Vega has been revealed as a character in Street Fighter V. Just as we also apparently got a trailer at some point for the Xbox exclusive game Quantum Break, which features Sean Ashmore as the main character, as well as characters played by Aidan Gillen and Lance Reddick. If those last two names sound familiar to you, congratulations, you're a fan of The Wire. Speaking of Aidan Gillen's other show, Game of Thrones, his co-star Peter Dinklage has been completely erased from the game Destiny and replaced with voice actor Nolan North. Apparently, he's done a famously bad job doing voiceover work for that game.
That's hard to believe with Peter Dinklage.
I know. I will have to find the video, whatever it is, that shows this, because I don't... Peter Dinklage doing a bad job. I have trouble just contemplating the concept.
He takes so much pride in his craft. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, you'd think sometimes actors just can't go into voice acting because they don't get any of the feedback necessary to be able to act like they normally would. It's
True.
all of being able to fully put yourself in there without all the aids of the other actors around you portraying their part. Because they don't.
Normally, I would be like, yeah, I get that, but so much of how well a job Peter Dinklage does in so many things revolves around his ability to use his voice and how well he uses and controls that voice. It just seems odd. Maybe it's
because being the voice actor is not all about the voice like you would think it is. Because remember, when you're acting normally in any type of like drama or comedy or anything. Okay, go ahead.
I am a voice actor.
Yes, but when you do your voice acting, are you doing it with the other people in the room with you that play the other characters?
When I have the chance, it's a little bit of both. Sometimes you do it with the other people when you can. Sometimes you have to do it on your own and just try to imagine it. It is often you'll have to do multiple takes just to, once again, to try to envision the many different ways a line can be said. The best part are all the that you got to do for like little action scenes. And I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, well, one is Peter Dinklage, and two, that makes me wonder if maybe this is the first time he did it for video games, or if they just gave him a script and he didn't completely understand what they were doing, or if he had to change his and if he changed his voice, maybe it just wasn't working for them. I can't give any real speculation on this until I watch the video, whatever it is, showing his voice over for Destiny, which apparently is out there somewhere.
I'm figuring that maybe it just wasn't good because he's used to having the feedback of other actors, and sitting in a booth reading out lines doesn't give you the normal feedback you need to be able to emote properly with your voice.
This is also
2 cents.
Yeah. Either way, we got tons of awesome Peter Dinklage stuff. I don't know, maybe at some point I'll figure out what it was happening. Anyway, we got a release. Fall 26 has been announced. We are getting a Halo Wars 2, which will be coming out in fall of 2016. Apparently this just came right out of the blue. Nobody knew this was happening. Also, we got some details on the Lego Marvel's Avengers game, which will be out July 26, 2016. It will be based off of the plots of both the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron movies, and will also feature popular characters Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl, Speed of the Young Avengers, and everybody's favorite Disney princess, Thor.
Well, huzzah!
Also, we have details about Fallout 4, more specifically that it will have no level cap. There is no maximum level you can get to, and that you can continue exploring the world once the story part of the game is done.
Well, that's been a thing in Fallout forever.
I'm guessing this is just new for Fallout.
I
don't play Fallout, so.
No level cap's new. That is.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? They're going to do like a linear
Well,
progression?
I know they've added a new base building part of it into this game, which should be interesting.
It will be.
Moving on to just general video game news. The community manager, Micah Whipple, has quit Blizzard.
Wow.
Was he the community manager, like the managing director of the community?
He was the community manager. He's been with the company for about 12 years.
Oh. Well, he might be going on to something new. That happens. You get bored.
Yeah, I haven't checked the reason. It's pretty much just the timing more than anything that makes this odd, as Blizzard is.
Wait. What was his name again?
Micah Whipple.
Oh, okay, never mind. So I know one of my friends that used to work for Blizzard, it just got hired on as the one of the directors of Geek and Sundry, and he's one of my old friends from way back in the day of Rocky at the Rialto.
Wow, that's way back. That would have been late 90s, early 2000s for you.
That'd be mid-90s for me.
Yeah. Wow. God.
You forget, I graduated in 98.
No, I didn't forget. That's why I said late 90s. I just always figured for you it was post-high school for some reason you were doing Rocky Horror.
No, I was straight in high school. And I've not gone back since I was 25. I'm on parole.
Okay. Moving on to something a little less awkward than that statement. There's a book coming out, first for e-readers, but will eventually be released in a physical copy, called Death by Video Game. This is a book which examines and explores how video games, basically in the modern age, actually have a lot of power and influence over the gamer. For those of you who are thinking that this is basically a video game equivalent to the book Seduction of the Innocent, which nearly destroyed the comic book industry, no. This guy apparently is very objective about how he does it. Yes, he shows the negative and bad effects of having video games have power over you, but he also goes into things like how it consoles people when they've lost a loved one or help them get through crises, or even works as therapy. So it's one of those things, if you're looking for somebody to speak the gospel of video games, expect you're going to get someone who's going to give you the bad with the good. If you're looking for someone who's giving you an excuse to say video games are the devil, you're not getting that either. This is pure objectivity as far as I can tell.
Well, that's a good thing.
I personally don't trust anything that says all good or all bad. But that's just me.
Well, that's rhetoric.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on to comic book news. Single issue suggestions this week. Secret Wars number 5. Velvet. I forget the number. I can't believe I forgot to write down the number, but I'm guessing it's like up to about number 9 or 10 now, I believe. Lando number 2, as in Lando Calrissian. X-Files Season 11 number 1. Starfire number 3. I'm actually really enjoying that book. It's one of the most fun books out there right now. And yes, I'm actually recommending this Batman number 43, where we finally get introduced to the big bad for the Commissioner Gordon Batman, that is Mr. Bloom. Also recommended, these are brand new series, so I can't say these are going to be good, but I looked them up and they seem interesting. Boy 1, number 1, a future tale where a guy who decides to take on a drug trial or something like that suddenly realizes that he's a pawn in a really huge, possibly world-changing scheme. String Divers number 1, about people who work for the government or something like that. Basically, their job is to stop potentially Universal destroying events or crises before they happen on a microscopic level. And finally, Kings and Canvas number 0. It's a gonzo boxing fantasy comic. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. It's just, I can't remember all the details in the description because boxer, monster fighting, trying to get his title back, has to escape. If you like out there comics, this is out there. For graphic novel releases this week, we recommend Hellboy and the BPRD 1952 trade paperback for $19.99 this week. The deluxe edition hardcover for Green Arrow Archer's Quest at $24.95, representing the first work by the guy who did Identity Crisis, Brad Meltzer. I will never, every time I see this title, it makes me happy and smile. The trade paperback collection of Star Trek Planet of the Apes, The Primate Directive at $19.99. The Black Panther by Christopher Priest Complete Collection Volume 1 trade paperback at $34.99. This is, for me, the Black Panther author. Definitely read this before the movie comes out. As well as Daredevil Typhoid's Kiss trade paperback at $34.99, introducing someone who turned out to introducing Typhoid Mary, who's a pretty big villain just for the Marvel Universe in general, strangely enough. The Ms. Marvel hardcover, Volume 1 at $34.99. The Hours Omnibus, Volume 1 hardcover at $125. And for those of you who are Valiant fans, Bloodshot Deluxe Edition, Volume 2 hardcover at $39.99. In Marvel news, looks like S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting ready to celebrate its 50th anniversary.
Yay!
And one of the one-shots will be a Peggy Carter one-shot in which the now incredibly popular character who's normally played by Haley Atwell, will be teaming up with everyone's favorite female Asgardian, the Lady Sif.
Well, huzzah!
Yay.
In manga news, if you're excited for the Attack on Titan game, if you love the anime, and this might make you happy, there's no way around it. Attack on Titan is a full-on phenomenon. The manga has sold over 750 million copies worldwide.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. To help get some perspective, an American comic is doing well if it sells somewhere in the area of 6 digits.
Yep.
And rarely gets that high in today's market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many X's you put into your X-Men title. In retail, you know what? We laugh because we remember the 90s. In retail
Marvel Swimsuit Edition every year.
In retailer news, Canadian comic book retailer Silver Snail has announced that they will be closing down their Ottawa store. The reason we bring this up, even though clearly we don't live in Ottawa, is because this is a direct result, according to them, of the decline in the value of the Canadian dollar.
Really?
Apparently it's not doing so hot these days, and this is, they claim, is the reason they had to shut down the Ottawa store.
Go figure.
Huh.
On the other hand, something a little more positive, we have a new website, findacomic.shop.com. Basically, it's like Google Maps specifically for finding comic book stores near you. So if you don't want to go digital, you don't want shit ordered to your door, you want the joy of going to an actual comic book shop where you have these wonderful geeky conversations and get really surprised at the number of girls that actually pop up in those places, that's the site for you.
It is always surprising. I don't care how old I get.
Yeah. Also, John,
For mileage may vary.
also, all of us are old enough. We all heard the stories. We met that one person who lived out in the middle of fucking nowhere, who didn't know where they could get their comics from, and talk about how it was like like Christmas came along in their lives more often than a new comic book did.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, 20 years ago, we would have killed for this site.
Yeah.
And now we move on to the part where we pay our respect to those who lost. This week we say goodbye to British actor George Cole at the age of 90. He's mostly known for doing a heck load of stuff for the BBC, but is mainly known for his role in Minder. And that's the only death I have to report. We're moving on to science.
Science!
Science!
And I only have one thing to say in science, but it's kind of an awesome thing.
All right, let's hear it.
We have found the entrance to Gath.
To Gath.
For those of you who don't know, Gath is the, I suppose city is the word you'd use, that existed, was populated until at least the 9th century BC, which was known to be the home of Goliath.
Yes.
Yes,
Huh.
that Goliath.
Well, this will be interesting.
Yes, it is a real place. We have found it, and we've also, in finding it, we have also found the actual city itself, and it turns out it's a little more impressive than we originally thought. If you want to, feel free to look it up. They have the details out there. Get yourself some history, my good fine friends.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And now we move on to miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous!
The videos making the rounds this week. Please tell me I am not the only person who watched the video of Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart of the upcoming American Ultra interviewing each other for Funny or Die.
Can't say that I have, actually.
Let's see, yeah.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah.
Basically, what they did to make this different was they had Kristen Stewart ask well, they had Jesse Eisenberg ask Kristen Stewart all the kinds of questions you usually ask the male actors for a movie, whereas Kristen Stewart got to ask Jesse Eisenberg all the questions the interviewers generally ask the female actors who are in a movie.
Cute.
That'll be fun.
It was very, very awkward for Jesse Eisenberg. Kristen Stewart, she put on her best bitch face and had that look behind the eyes that said, "I'm enjoying every sadistic second of this." Also, a video was released showing an animatic that shows the actual recorded voice work done by Chris Farley before he died when he was originally cast for the character of Shrek.
Now, I did watch that.
And?
How was it?
It was all right. You know, again, I was never a huge fan of Chris Farley anyway, so, you know, to watch that and just see the, and hear the voice work with Eddie Murphy, it wasn't bad. You know, I think the story would have been completely different with him.
Well,
but,
they did.
again,
they already pointed out there were changes made to the character just based on the fact that when Mike Myers came in and without anybody prompting him to start doing a Scottish accent led to some changes in the character. I would say, personally for me, I was kind of surprised how not worse than Mike Myers it was. It was just basically just a different take on the character.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It just I was, again, never a fan of Chris Farley anyway, so.
I think it's safe to say that if things had gone the way they originally planned, it would not have affected the success of Shrek at all.
I don't think it would have been as successful, but that's me. I think it would have spawned one, maybe two movies and been done with that. I don't think it would have been the powerhouse that it was with Mike Myers.
Considering where that franchise went, I'm surprised you don't consider that a bad thing. I mean, a good thing. I think it would have been better if it just took one or two more movies.
That's neither here nor there. Just because that movie should have ended after 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it's not like DreamWorks had anything else going for it at the time.
Yeah. Also, in videos, Epic Rap Battles of History released Stan Lee versus Jim Henson, which was probably the nicest that any rapper has been on that show so far, at least until Disney popped up.
Yeah, I not one of their better ones, but still enjoyable.
In celebrity news, wrestler Titus O'Neil took a bunch of homeless people out to lunch.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Proving that wrestlers are awesome.
I think this was to prove some kind of point about how restaurant people treat other people or something, I don't know. But hey, a bunch of homeless people got to hang out with the wrestler and got a good meal. So
there you go.
Yeah. Also, the new Ghostbusters, the all-female cast, visited Tufts Medical Center.
Mm-hmm.
Tufts?
Yep.
Tufts Medical Center. Yeah. Tufts. Yeah. And this is we have uplifting things like that because there's no way we can't discuss the fact that after 40 years together, Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy have called it quits.
I'm not buying it.
I believe it.
This
is the worst thing
ever since Pinky and the Brain broke up.
Yeah.
Well, that was because of Pinky's meth addiction.
You mean his cocaine addiction?
Oh god, now I just want to completely redo Breaking Bad, except now it's the Brain as Walter White and Pinky as Jesse Pinkman.
No, Pinky, we're gonna cook.
I don't know, Brian.
What do we gotta do now, Brain? Bitch!
I am the one who knocks.
No, you gotta say it like you're Orson Welles.
I gotta work on my Orson Welles. It's not too great.
My Orson Welles is shit too. It's one reason I'm not trying. It's annoying. It's one of those voices that sounds like it should be easy, especially considering how known it is, but then you try it and you realize you just can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's Orson Welles, man. That voice has so much complexity to it on that lower register. It's ridiculous.
We can't
Well,
all be...
somebody's phone restarted.
No, my phone decided to make noise at me.
And our final bit of celebrity news. Idris Elba's sex appeal cannot be denied. It cannot be denied so hard that he is the first man ever to appear solo on the cover of Maxim magazine.
Are you sure?
Yep.
But nope, I was thinking of the Hot 100. My bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Like there was any doubt.
It says, like, it's Idris Elba. We realized putting hot women on the cover not only did nothing to diminish his own sexuality, but made us feel less sexually appealing in comparison. Also, we couldn't notice the women because Idris Elba was there, and we started to get confused.
The flesh is willing, or the spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
Ooh, speaking of things made of plastic, merchandise news. Man, we had some really good merch get revealed this week. Did you guys see the Quicksilver action figure based off of the Age of Ultron movie?
I did.
Nope.
You know, actually, you're the one to talk about that because we know you have high standards when it comes to sculpts and all that stuff. Go, John.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually a really detailed piece. A lot better than a couple of the Black Widows I've seen that have come out recently. And them just
yeah, they do not do Scarlett Johansson justice in any of the merchandise or images.
Nah, not the slightest. But you can only do so much with it. It is a sculpt. That's one of the few things I appreciate Todd McFarlane for. As much as a money-grubbing bastard as he is, he did help raise industry standards for detail and sheer fucking grit put into goddamn action figures.
Speaking of something with a lot of detail, steampunk Batman. Holy shit.
I've seen a bunch of those over the years. I'm not impressed. I actually thought the design for 1950s greaser Batman was a more interesting design than steampunk Batman.
Did they ever release an action figure version of Gotham by Gaslight Batman?
I don't think so.
That was pretty much steampunk before steampunk was cool right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, speaking of really good sculpts, they recently an image was released for a black costume Spider-Man statue, and I'm always impressed when you have a full figure statue that's being kept on its base by the least amount. In this case, the only thing keeping on its base is one hand on an outstretched arm. The rest is hanging out. Mm-hmm. It looks...
Oh, absolutely.
It's like having a three-dimensional piece of comic book cover art just right there. I can look at it from every angle and be so happy. It's probably the best, I think, the black Spider-Man costume has looked since that classic John Byrne cover where it's all black and white and Spidey swinging in the black costume in silhouette.
Yep.
For those who like your action figures old school, remember the Mego figures?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically plastic dolls with a cloth costume on it. These aren't done by Mego. I forget the name of the company, but they're doing similar style figures for the Super Friends.
Oh, God.
Including Samurai and Apache Chief. Because back in those days, they were all about cultural sensitivity.
Oh, God.
No word on whether or not Apache Chief will come with a little voice chip that very crappily says, "Enough, Chuck!"
Enough, Chuck. Oh, good Lord.
It's Apache Chief. He's so corny and horrible that you kind of have to love him.
Yeah, I know. Which is why one of my favorite Apache Chief moments was in Harvey Bird.
The Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law episode didn't hurt either.
Yep. It's one of my favorite Apache Chief moments.
Oh, I love it just for the part where he grows and you see the one woman smiling and pointing up. And finally, speaking of badass sculpts, please, John, tell me you saw the Bruce Lee action figure.
Oh, absolutely. That is phenomenally detailed. especially, the amount of detail they put in there for the amount of maneuverability they put into that sculpt is absolutely phenomenal.
It is so detailed and so well done that I think if I were to unwrap it out of its box and put it up in the homes of guys I know for a fact spend all their time working out, they will feel like fat slobs looking at it.
No, that's kind of what you do when you look at Bruce Lee. It doesn't matter how hard you work out, you feel like a fat slob.
Yeah.
Well, and finally, moving on to our final two items under just other. Who here is a fan of Archie?
Nope.
Then you will be just as not excited to hear that we are apparently getting a Broadway musical. In their defense...
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Go ahead.
Is it the undead Archie one?
No.
Then I'm not care. Yeah, screw it. Move on. Don't care.
In their defense, at least it's something that's a lot more fitting to a Broadway musical than, say, Spider-Man or Superman.
Yeah.
Yes,
we were actually having a discussion about this the other week out here at Coffee with Rabbit, myself, and our friend Tracy, who's the technical director of the theater we volunteer with, about how literally there really isn't a good comic book property you can turn into an actual show.
You can. They're just not the ones that are like mainstream famous, because most people, when they think comics, they think superheroes. And musicals and superheroes...
Well, yeah, it doesn't really mix.
Now, if you were to, say, make a musical out of, say, Strangers in Paradise...
Or Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Or there's a couple of good, like, Vertigo titles you could probably pull off a musical out of. Or at the very least, if you eliminate the musical part, you can make a play out of.
You know what? We just need to pull some stuff from slave labor graphics. We need to do, like, Lenore.
Johnny, the Homicidal Maniac, the musical.
My monkey's name is Jennifer, the musical.
Box Office Poison?
Actually, you know what you could do it with? You could do it with the Tick.
That's kind of halfway there already.
You could do it with the Tick. It's campy enough, and you could totally pull it off.
Oh God! You know what I would love to see?
Wait a minute. Rabbit looks like he's got something.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I would agree with the
you're
Tick.
making gestures.
Yeah. No, what I would love to see, honestly, not a musical. I want to see if somebody do a video of the Tick if it was the 1960s Batman show.
Evan, I don't often say this to you, and I'm going to say this now, and I want you to take this with a very, very, very large grain of salt. That's fucking genius. But only if Adam West will play the Tick.
Oh, God. Come on, Arthur. We've got to stop these evil fiends. Spoon, Arthur. Spoon.
We can get Cesar Romero to be Chairface.
Don't shave the mustache.
Moving on.
Oh. And Kevin Conroy as Deflator Mouse.
Okay, I'll go with that. Moving on.
Oh, the in-joke alone. Our final story for this week, whether this is good or bad is completely dependent on your feelings on capital punishment. James Holmes, the assault maniac who shot up a movie theater a few years ago during a Batman Rises screening, the Dark Knight Rises screening, claiming he was the Joker, has officially been sentenced. He now has a life sentence to look forward to.
See, I'm okay with this because he's mentally ill. Actually, there's an article I'm speaking of nerdy arrests. There's actually an article I forgot to add to this. It falls into miscellaneous. Are you familiar with the term swatting? Do you know what swatting means?
Oh, isn't that where you call, you basically arrange a call to the local law enforcement to have a SWAT team go after somebody you hate, usually done by asshole gamers who don't like losing or being insulted?
Yes.
Exactly. Well, recently in Texas, one of these swatters was sentenced. 15 years old, sentenced for domestic terrorism. Sentenced to 25 years to life.
Holy shit.
Now, granted, he had done more than 15 SWAT calls, and one of them had resulted in the rival gamer's father being shot by the SWAT team. But I actually think this is a wonderful... Again, I'm sad the kid ruined his own life, but by the same token, I think this is going to set a precedent, and it needs to. This is a precedent that needs to be set. Don't fuck with people like that. You know what? If you're pissed off and you're playing a video game, it's a fucking video game. You do one of two things. You quit or you get better.
And to help to really bring home what this means, it's a bitch and a half to be able to try a 15-year-old as an adult for anything, and you don't get 25 or more without being tried as an adult.
Yep, he got tried as an adult because he's a fucking idiot. Good riddance. Fuck the kid.
As somebody said to me once when I was 18, there's a big difference between screwing up and fucking up. This kid just learned he did the latter.
Yep, and pretty soon he's going to learn exactly what that means when he goes to man jail.
Oh, I'm sure his man China will find out.
Well, he's a pretty little ginger, and they don't last long in prison.
Oh, no.
And that wraps it up for this week's High Class Geek News. Wow.
Tattle up to the guards?
Woo! Yeah, let's see how much of a man let's see if you're really good at insulting people now.
Let's see you pull that SWAT shit now.
I have been your Lord High Judge, Evan Ransom, or also known as your friendly neighborhood geek, Gazoid. With me today has been the Justice of the Peace that is John Little.
That's right, I shall come down upon you like the hammer!
And the judge in the sense of Judge Dredd, Rabbit.
Fear me.
Come on, Rabbit, say it.
Say what?
I am the law!
I am the law! Hey, I need to do it properly. I am the law!
And this has been High Class Geek News. We'll be back next Sunday at 9 p.m. as we are every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are always glad to have you, and we will look forward to next time when we can continue to pick on Jixie about both their name, the Sex Muppets,
Muppet sex,
and Uranus. Hopefully, they realize that at least for now, they have to keep the Kermit and the Piggy Muppet apart.